Hi, I'm Melissa Ramoso, Mayor for the great city of Artesia. You're watching Rise and Shine with FilAm Creative.
Good morning, good morning, and for the 43rd time, let's rise and shine. And here they are, it's Ed and Rex and Ronnie.
Woohoo!
Rise and shine, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. Hello. And we are here today in Artesia. So
Yes.
You can already see that we have four people. We have four boxes, as Ronnie likes to say, not three. So we're going to get right into it because this guest is a busy woman, but she took the time to come hang out with us. And that's why we're so grateful. So welcome to Rise and Shine today. We have a very special guest. I'm going to go ahead and introduce her right now, but I'm going to give her bio like I always try to do. If you are a big fan of Rise and Shine, which of course you are, you might remember seeing her from episode 31 in our Exploring Artesia episode. So you might know this wonderful woman from episode 31. She is I'm going to read my credits right here. She's a national Filipino-American leader and a proud daughter of former public servants. For nearly 2 decades, she has served and advised federal and state legislators as a member of the California Democratic Party and is the only person in California Democratic Party history to serve as a state chair for 2 caucuses. She's a delegate to the Democratic National Convention in 2012, 2016, and 2020, served as a national co-chair for Filipino-Americans for Biden-Harris. In 2013, she ran for office as the youngest Filipino-American in California and the second youngest in the United States. This is so great. This past December, she was elected to serve as mayor for the city of Artesia. But most importantly for us, she's Melissa Ramoso, and she's here with us today on Rise and Shine. Welcome, Melissa.
Thank you so much for having me, Ed, Rex, and Ronnie.
We're
an
just
impressive resume.
Yes, we're thrilled to have you here. We and for those of you who do remember in episode 31, we had all kinds of audio problems because it was the first time that Rex and Ronnie and I had our new audio equipment. And so because of that, for those of you, because I know a lot of you wrote in about that how come Mayor Melissa's audio was cut out? So like, we're going to do the full 13 things at the end of this episode. So never fear, she will answer all 13 things. But can we just start with the most simple question? Like, how awesome is it, Melissa, to be the first female mayor of Artesia, to be a Filipino-American, to be, here we are in Women's History Month. This is the 4th of our 5 episodes celebrating women's history. This has got to be a wonderful feeling for you. Can you just share with our viewers how that's got to feel?
Absolutely. It's one of my greatest honors to serve in an elected role and to be the first Filipina, first API woman to serve as mayor. It means so much to me. And I know there are younger women, other women who are looking towards me to show some leadership and dedication to serving. So I definitely am just humbled and honored to be in this position.
That is incredible. I didn't even know. It's like, I didn't even know we could be mayor. And I
didn't know too, but here I
am.
Ronnie, I think you should be the next mayor after Melissa.
I don't know. I mean, women are capable of achieving great things, but some women are not great at organizing or opening a Google Calendar. So
that's why there's people to help you, Ronnie. And when you want to run, I'm gonna go help you. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Is there an announcement coming, Ronnie?
An empowerment right here.
Just tell me where you live later, and we'll figure it out.
Oh heck yes! I love it.
Well, I mean, Melissa, so we understand that you were just elected mayor literally a few months ago. So I just want to know, like, now that you're mayor, what are your future plans for your administration in terms of policy in the city of Artesia?
Sure. So, we're still in the pandemic. So one of the hardest things being on the council is creating policies and programs that would help residents and businesses. And I was able to do that early on when we started. I do have a background of 20 plus years already working for the state and federal government. So knowing that things are slower on the state side, I was able to institute like policies such as a rent and commercial residential commercial moratorium, which was not even done at the state level till later and then the county. So we were able to keep people in their homes and businesses in place. And then we stopped price gouging too in our city, because that was something that was rampant and happening everywhere. So things like that, just keeping in the mindset of protecting those who are involved with our city and residents, it's important. And being as mayor, you know, you're steering the ship. Everyone is watching you, you know, making sure that employees are happy, making sure residents are safe and their quality of life is always improving. So those are the important priorities for me as mayor, and hoping I can do so much more, and making sure that the next mayor, who's also going to be female, is in a good position.
You know, Melissa, you talk about price gouging, and, you know, full disclosure, one of my favorite restaurants, Indian restaurants, we talked about it last time, is in Artesia. But, you know, you talk about these things, which of course to the consumer, and obviously we have 4 consumers in this chat today, that's obviously a good thing. We don't want to go pay too much money. I think we've all been to restaurants or businesses where we're like, you know, I get it, we're in a pandemic, but this is a little bit too over. Come on, this is too much. What kind of a vibe do you get when you talk to these local businesses? Because I mean, you know, we've all been to Artesia. One of the beautiful things about your city is that there's so many mom and pop, is the way to say it, like type of restaurants. So you deal with a lot of non-chain type local businesses. What kind of, I mean, do you get resistance? Do you get support from that? Like, what kind of a dialogue do you have with the merchants in the city?
Yeah, so every time I walk into any business, especially restaurants, because I'm such a foodie, so if y'all ever want to come and eat, let's eat.
That's a future episode right there.
Here we come.
Here we go.
So I always make sure I talk to the owner or the manager to see and check in how they're doing. One of the things that we're working on, it's been taking some time though, is we're launching a business assistance program. So a lot of the restaurants and businesses can apply for pandemic relief. So we're hoping that's like at least 10,000 for each business, and that's significant for a small business. And a lot of the restaurants especially are losing workers, and many are having to randomly close because they don't have enough staff, or staff is sick. So it's been tough for them, but I'm trying to figure ways how we can help assist, and just being a support system. I know what is helpful for them as well.
And how long do you now thinking about being like a mayor, and like how long would you say that you had to have lived in Artesia or like understood Artesia until the day that you're like, you know what, I live in this, I know the city, I know what it needs, I'm gonna run for mayor? Like, is there like a baseline for that, or do you just kind of like pull up and be like, I can do this?
Well, you know,
I doubt the latter happens, but if we were talking spectrum,
right?
I think Roni's starting to think about moving to Artesia to get that. I
have Filipino commissioners. I'm readying them too. So,
wow.
Yeah, no, it's, you know, politics is crazy. It's interesting. You know, there's people in general that the best stories to show that, like, if, you know, similar like me, I grew up and I'm a product of the school system. That's why I'm serving back in my community. But there are instances where people move in and they want to run, and they end up doing, sometimes they get it. And it's a matter of how the political climate is, and if, you know, people believe in you. So never, even if you're not a longtime resident, consider, because serving is one of the greatest things you can do and give back to your community.
Oh,
you know,
such a great answer.
And you know, here's a question that, you know, and you know, as an educator, this is probably something I would ask if you came to my classroom. But, you know, like, I think a lot of people always ask this, but they want to know, like, what is a typical day for you? Like, how often do you get to go shake hands, meet the people, or are you in meetings all the time? Like describe, or maybe a better way to say is a typical week. What's
Mhm.
a typical week for the mayor of Artesia, a city like Artesia?
So my mayor hat's on 24/7, but I also am a public servant in the state legislature. I actually work for a bigger boss that as a state assembly member. So I have to think in that space 9 to 5. And then on my lunches after 5, before 9 is when I'm doing a lot of the mayoral stuff too, because I can't mix those times. And if I do, like for instance, I had mayor's office hours at the end of February. I had to take off a vacation time just so I can host mayor's office hours in the city hall. So it's a lot of a balancing act. You know, a lot of my events do happen on the weekends, and just also in February I had what opening day for Little League, and so I threw out the
Right.
first pitch.
Right.
You know, and then a couple weeks later we had a mariachi festival on Friday night. So it varies. You can do the fun things where you're in the community, or I'm having meetings with people who want to develop in the city, and it's a whole gamut of different things that you have to deal with, but it's a great balancing act, and I hopefully I'm doing a okay job at least.
Well, for full disclosure, I don't live in Artesia, so I can't give you full feedback. But from here, it looks great. We went to, back in episode 31, we went to the fair. I am so sorry.
The
What was
diversity festival.
the diversity festival. I was like, the
Yes.
diversity fair. That doesn't sound like a good name.
Actually, if you watch episode 31, I made the same mistake, Roni.
So when we were over there, I had no idea it was going to be like so big,
Mhm.
and it was spanning. In case you didn't see it in the video, viewers at home, it's like spans like this big long block, and there's 2 stages,
Mhm.
and I just thought it was going to be like a fun little meeting, but this was like a full-on production. And as people who do FilAm Creative puts on a lot of events, and they always freak me out. So the fact that you were just voted, I think that in between time, I'm so bad at like the politics. What was it called? Post-mortem. Well, the one that you were just voted, you were not inaugurated in yet, and you were already like having to run things. I remember we like searched for you. We were like, where is
We
the
did.
mayor?
We
Thank God
did.
for Facebook.
Yes.
I know. I was like, should we really be like running around here just asking for the mayor? But no, I mean, those things like, I think it was AOC who said like, thank an organizer today. And I feel like, and tell me like knowing that you do your job is almost essentially like nights and weekends, Melissa. It's like, is that one of the things that you think that people not know? Like what does people not know about being the mayor other than what you just told us, the nights and weekends?
Yeah, definitely you can't, it's hard to turn off,
Mhm.
and having that separation, like I'm trying to do a better balance of that. But it is difficult because your brain's thinking like, okay, am I doing my job well? What else have I not responded to?
Mhm.
That I also have to respond to people on Facebook, because for some reason residents like to like post their problems and issues on Facebook.
Oh my God, that would be my nightmare.
If I'm not
So
responding,
Yeah.
then they think I'm not doing a good job. But
Yeah.
if any space where I can help answer questions, I want to be there. So it's a lot, and people don't realize that it could be that time consuming. So I cherish and relish any moment that I have with my family, my nephew. So like last night I was playing laser tag with my nephew. So
Heck yeah.
Awesome.
so those are the things that I look forward to. But you don't turn off, and there's people have to realize that and be supportive of that.
You talked about how people always want to have an opinion, to talk, complain. I feel like at the national level, politics is so polarizing. If you're a Republican, half the people disagree with you. If you're a Democrat, half the people disagree with you. What would you say to people who might not be as knowledgeable about politics at the local level? Is it the same type of polarization? Is it the same political difficulty getting your message across? Do you find it easier to get a message across? Like if like you mentioned, someone complained about, there's the street light needs to be replaced. do you feel like you have more ability to make change at this level? What's that like?
Oh, absolutely. When you're at the local level, people only see what directly affects them, right? So when national issues go over a lot of people's heads, but at the local level, you know, even though I'm a very staunch Democrat, I tend to think that I've been able to cross the aisle and speak to both sides, because my service is to help anyone, whether we don't are on the same lane in terms of the political spectrum. I'm going to help you regardless. If you're there's a crack in your sidewalk and you need to get it fixed, I'm going to help try to best address that. And, you know, everyone is seen at the same level of, I need to help you, and I'll do my best to see what I can do. So yeah, it doesn't matter, politics or not. I'm as a local servant, you serve everyone.
Oh, hey, I know what you're doing. You're sitting there liking what we're doing over here. So do me a favor, hit that like button, add a comment. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, tell me what you feel. What are you waiting for? Do it now.
Hey, did you know that you can make a tax-deductible donation to us? Check it out. Rise and Shine is produced by FilAm Creative, and we're an official registered nonprofit organization. So if you like programming like Rise and Shine, why don't you Venmo us a couple of bucks, some quid, and we'd really appreciate it. So you can Venmo us at FilAm Creative. That's at FilAm Creative. And hey, thanks for watching Rise and Shine.
Okay, because I always hear a lot about, like, it's really important, if anything, to vote in your local elections. In your opinion, Melissa, like, now that you are the local election, what, like, is, yeah, like, if you were explaining to somebody who's not registered to vote and they're like, oh, I only vote in the big ones, or I'm planning on only voting on, like, the big ones, you know, like for president, but they live in a place like Artesia, they live in a place like Southern California, in a county city in Southern California. Like, in a nutshell, how would you say, why is voting local important?
Yeah, so you definitely, I would ask them. So I asked a non-registered voter, I would ask them, so what would you like different in your city? What do you like about your city? You know, do you feel safe? So, and then I would answer with, if they have answers for me, I would say, well, your local elections matter, because it's the local leaders who are making those decisions that'll help you and your quality of life. And so, yeah, and I've actually done that, where I've even registered people to vote when I was campaigning. So, and I'm up for re-election this year, by the way, in November. So hopefully I can.
There you go.
return.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, no, Ron, you make up a really great point, because it's like, you know, we made that point of emphasis that sometimes on the federal level, the issues will go over people's heads, but on the local level, we're talking about the city, we're talking about your school boards, we're talking about things that will affect you as an individual, but also as your family. So it's kind of like, you know, if you want to have a voice in the sense of, like, you know, where you want you or where you want your kids to have that quality of life, you got to vote local, you got to vote municipal, you got to vote your judges, you got to vote, you know, everything matters here. And so, you know, thank you, Melissa, for bringing that point, because not a lot of people really know about that. So
Absolutely.
You know, and Melissa, you talked about, you know, just being an ambassador for your city, and what do you like about your city, you know, and something that, you know, I mean, I grew up in another state, and when I moved to Los Angeles, I think one of the things that fascinated me was that this is a city that everybody seems to know how to get somewhere, and they have an opinion, but yet they don't spend a lot of time in other part, you know, oh, if I'm on the west side, I don't really go to SGV a lot. So to that person who's been an Angelino all his or her life, and they haven't spent a lot of time in Artesia, and they want to go down for a day, they hear about your festival, for example, like, pitch to them, like, why should we go visit Artesia? What's awesome about Artesia that everyone's going to want to go? I mean, me personally, I think your Indian food is fantastic. I love that street, and I love the fact that there's so many Filipino businesses there. But, like, you know, like, what would you say to an Angelino who maybe lives in the Valley and they want to spend some time in Artesia? What's the defining characteristic of Artesia?
We're definitely a burgeoning foodie town, and you hit the nail on the head with the Indian food. We probably have the biggest cluster of Filipino restaurants too.
Wow.
And I was making a list for my new interim city manager of our places to eat, and it just kept on going.
Wow.
So we have everything from Chinese, Japanese, Malaysian. So it's all here. So what brings people together is food, and we
Mhm.
know that,
Mhm.
especially Filipinos who like to make sure that if you've eaten already, that it's here in Artesia. I'll make sure you will eat and have full bellies going back to the San Fernando Valley. So no problem.
I freaking love that.
Yes, we
Very
did have
cool.
full bellies after the festival. Thank you so much. Yes, we did.
Oh yeah, we ate a bunch of the
Yeah.
food at the festival.
Which, by the way, we're having again in October. So you're more than
Oh
welcome
my
to come. And I'll be
gosh.
mayor at that time, so I'll be on the mic
Oh,
and doing
Woo.
that.
oh my
We'll
gosh.
get you again in season 3.
That's right. That is
Well,
right.
Melissa, we've got 13 things coming up here. But Nate, here's a question for you. You're Filipino, you're proud Filipino. I think all 4 of us here can say that we're proud Filipino-Americans. What kind of dialogue do you have with Filipino-American citizens in Artesia? Is there a lot of pride? Is there a lot of like what's that dialogue like? That's got to be a fascinating conversation you have when you run into specifically Filipino Americans in Artesia.
Mhm.
Right. So whether I'm campaigning or meeting a new neighbor in my block, I always go up to them and I say hi. And especially if they're Filipino, I go, so, yeah, and I'm Filipino too. You're Filipino, right? And they would go, oh, you're Filipino? You're the mayor too? I was like, yeah, I'm the first Filipina. And it's like, wow, I don't know you, but I'm so proud of you, right? I'm not trying to do the voice, but they actually
No,
will say
I
it that way.
I was like, no, that's accurate.
Yeah.
That's
So
about right. Yeah.
and they look at you like, that's possible, like it's possible
Mhm.
that you are, and like it's just a lot of pride without knowing me. They show that already in their face.
I
Wow.
literally said that earlier. I was like, we could do this.
Yeah.
Can I ask also, like, so have they do they come to you when you make that establish that connection? Do you feel like, whomever is out there is more inclined to get involved with like local stuff or to vote on things now that they know they got like somebody who understands them in the office?
Filipino voters, if they have met me, yes, they'll more than likely be supportive. But Filipino voters too, especially Artesia Cerritos area, they can be like very critical. Like, oh, is that person really of my values, right? Because we could be on either side, very right, very left. It happens here in this area. So it really varies, but most of the time, hopefully I win them over.
Well, hey, again, Melissa, congratulations. And here at Rise and Shine and FilAm Creative, we are going to definitely follow your political trajectory onwards and upwards, even after your term as mayor, because it sounds like you're on a major trajectory upwards, leading your political career and everything. So wherever it may take you, hopefully one day maybe to the White House, that would just be fabulous. Have the first woman of color to be president of the United States. I mean, wherever it takes you, we are definitely going to follow you. And congratulations again on your step as mayor of Artesia. And thank you for being on Rise and Shine. And to those viewers, we had to reschedule because our mayor Melissa had a ribbon cutting ceremony. I believe. I think that we had to reschedule.
Ribbon cutting. She had Little League.
Yes.
She's a busy woman.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it's not easy, y'all. It's not easy. It's a whole city. You got uncle over there complaining about the street light. You got this business owner who doesn't like this business owner.
Yes.
You got people on Facebook talking to you.
Yeah.
I can't.
Oh my gosh.
What a way to make women's history right there.
Yes, absolutely.
Have we looked at it? It's women's
Oh my
history right
gosh.
there.
Right.
Absolutely.
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 We really do appreciate you taking the time to reschedule and taking the time just to be with us this morning here and everything. So thank you. And as we come back from our break, we are going to do 13 Things with Melissa Ramoso after this.
Are you following us on socials? What? You're not? How dare you? I mean, you totally should. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We even have a mailing list. We're at Rise and Shine FAC. That's Rise and Shine FAC. Or click like here. It'll take you right there. You don't gotta do nothing else. So what are you waiting for? Like us, follow us, subscribe. See you there.
Hey, don't forget that new episodes drop every Tuesday on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you download your favorite podcast. So don't forget to subscribe to us so you don't miss a single episode.
And we're back. Thank you, me, for telling you that if you want to subscribe to the Rise and Shine podcast, you can. We're available on YouTube and Spotify and wherever you get your podcasts. Also, if you like what you see, because I know you do, I'm going to tell you again, we are always taking donations via our Venmo account at FilAm Creative. Help us keep the lights on. Help us book amazing, important, historical guests, just like our guest, Mayor Melissa Ramoso. Melissa, I almost have to apologize. I feel like we've kept it super cash this whole time, just calling you by your first name. But what do we actually call Lady Mayoress, like her mayorship? What is the actual term?
It's not Bridgerton, so like,
But it can be. We play our cards right.
Minus.
Fine.
Wow.
but you know, I'm Melissa, but the proper way to say it, like when with my colleagues, would be Madam Mayor or just Mayor Ramoso, Miss Mayor. So I'll respond either way.
I love it. I love it. Well, Madam Mayor Melissa Ramoso, we would like to get you into this new segment, this next segment, because it's not new. Jeremiah will cut that out. This next segment called 13 Things. Rapid fire questions. Are we ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to get into it with Ann and Rex? These hard-hitting political questions.
I'm ready.
All right.
All right.
And here we go. 13 things.
All right. Thank you, Ronnie. Okay. You're the Madam Mayor of Artesia, Miss Melissa. So can you recommend for us your 4 Filipino or Asian American in politics we should know more about?
Yes, definitely my mentor, former Mayor Cerritos, Mark Polito. My colleague next door, Cerritos, council member Frank Aurelio Yokoyama, who's running for re-election. And one of my favorite female electeds in the Bay Area, recent former mayor but council member now, Jocelyn Manalo of Daly City. She is my sister in the fight, and please read about her.
I know it's your guys' segment, but I have to pull a Kanye right now. I'm from the Bay Area. So to hear you say that you're like Bay Area kin, and I'm about to marry into a Daly City family. So
there you go.
There we go.
Look her up. She'll be your sister too. Don't worry about it.
That's right. That is right. Okay. So Melissa, if you were not the mayor, what would you be doing instead?
I'd still be in public service. You know, I've been in public service for 20 years. I've always said I didn't need to be in the spotlight, but in order to make decisions, you have to be at the decision-making table.
Okay. Now, if you could run a nonprofit organization, what type of cause would it benefit?
Oh, that's a good one. Either at-risk youth or anything with our elders, you know, coming from a Filipino family, giving back to your elders is one of my biggest things in life I like to do, because I grew up with my grandparents, and if I could give and help others, that'd be great.
Wow, that's wonderful. Okay, so what's something peculiar about you that not a lot of people know?
Peculiar?
A characteristic or something interesting.
Well, it's not super public, but I'm a download Disney aficionado. I'm a green key pass holder. So 15 minutes away, I'll have dinner in Disneyland if I feel like it. So yeah.
Potential Club 33 member here. Okay. If you could change or create one law or policy, what would it be?
You know, I think changing any of the laws in different states that prevent people from voting like in Georgia,
yeah.
we saw that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of voter suppression.
Right.
Anything that has to do with women's rights, a lot of the states are reversing, having the pro-choice. And so definitely I would reverse all of those.
Wow. Okay, so if you were in the Philippines, what is your favorite or most beautiful place that you've seen there in the country?
My grandfather's side and my grandmother's side are from Palawan. So
Oh,
Palawan's one of the most beautiful islands in the world. And to know that my grandfather once owned a stretch of the beach,
Oh
that's
my
just
gosh.
amazing.
Wow.
So definitely Palawan.
Okay, so the same question, you might have answered it already though, but the same question, most beautiful or favorite place, but around the world, other than the Philippines.
That's tough. I don't get to travel much as a person who's very busy, but I recently went to Turks and Caicos,
Oh,
which
okay.
actually a lot of Filipinos are living, and they're your workers
Wow.
there. And I said I would come back and visit all of them.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think again, you might have answered this next question first. So where in the world, since you haven't had time to really travel, then where in the world would you want to go see? Have you not been to?
Honestly, Europe. I can't, I'm not gonna lie. I watch Emily in Paris and I ask people, is it
Yeah.
really like that? Can I sit at a cafe and eat a
It's
crepe?
such a guilty
And
pleasure show.
and meet a Gabrielle, so I don't know if you watched it. So
Wow.
It's
Okay.
cute. It's great.
Oh my gosh. Okay, now turning it to you, Ed.
All right, thank you. Let's get a little more personal here. We'll go rapid fire, but we'll get a little more personal. What are your 4 favorite foods or types of foods that you got to have?
Filipino sushi, seafood boil, anything fried.
Anything fried, love it.
Yeah.
Okay. You can only have one: corned beef, Spam, Vienna sausage. Who wins?
Spam,
Okay.
lightly crispy too.
All right. Let's eat balut. Yes? No?
Hell no.
All right. Favorite Filipino dessert?
Oh, halo halo.
Favorite non-Filipino dessert?
Chocolate cake.
Okay. I'm going to throw an audible in here. Rex, Ronnie, and Ed are going to Artesia for dessert. Where should we go?
Oh, we have sweet honey dessert. If you like durian, that's the only place in the area that
Oh,
serves it.
wow.
But next door we have Cafe 86. So of course Cafe 86 because of Chef Ginger.
If y'all never
I hear
knew,
that's really good.
if y'all
That's
never knew,
really
Cafe
good.
86 is the spot.
Yes.
It's the
Really good.
spot.
That's
All
really
right.
good.
You heard it from the mayor. Okay. Favorite boba?
I like peach black tea. I'm pretty simple.
Okay. Favorite chocolate?
Milk. And actually I have a box from this place called Ginger Elizabeth. It's so highly rated in Sacramento. Oh, I would die for. People line up for 5 hours for it. So.
Oh, wow.
You just happen to have it right
Hotspot.
there.
I just
Yeah,
had
no,
it
just
here.
coincidence.
I had it right in
Oh.
front of me.
Wow, coincidence there.
I
Okay.
needed sugar this morning.
Favorite fruit?
Watermelon.
Okay. Favorite alcoholic beverage?
I'm a politician. I don't drink alcohol.
Right.
All right.
Right. Yeah.
If
All
I
right.
do, I would go to Genevieve.
Yeah,
LA.
Geneva. Yes.
Geneva.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Let's see. Let's get even more personal. Recommend just one. Name a Filipino or Asian book, movie, show, or music that you're currently enjoying. Just one.
Well, it's not like I had this ready, but the Journey for Justice of the Life of Larry Itliong,
Oh.
written by Dr. Don Mabalon. So
Oh,
definitely everyone needs to read this.
Don's the best.
Most memorable, good or bad, thing you ever did on a first date?
Oh, wow. Met a blind date in Vegas and had a drink at the 66th level of a lounge, and it was really fun, and that's it.
Wow, okay.
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 All right.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's play mahjong. How good are you?
I leave that to my Lola. She was the
Oh.
mahjong master, but
All
I
right.
don't actually know how to play.
All right. 2 questions to go. This one, I know you got to be a little politically correct, but let's see what you do. Look into the camera. Say one sentence to your haters.
I I'm not usually mean. But you know,
Good answer.
or how about this? You know, I'm mayor now. What?
And here we go. Last question. You, Mayor Melissa Ramoso, City of Artesia, get to be the guest host for Rise and Shine with FilAm Creative. Name a Filipino or Asian guest, living or deceased, who you would like to interview and why.
Oh wow. Oh, I definitely would like to, honestly, I'd bring my sister Jeslyn Manalo on so we could talk on dialogue about how it's like to be women in power. And we're of the same generation.
Right.
Yes, like having a conversation like that, I don't think ever has been done.
Well, you know, you
Never
have my
been
number.
done, you say.
Yeah.
You have my number, so you know who to call, and
We can
book
make that
this.
happen.
Yeah.
We can totally make that happen.
We're happy to
I want to be
facilitate.
on that round table just like this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, we are so grateful. We know that you are a very, 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 very busy person. And we appreciate that you took the time, not once, but twice, because you can check her out also in episode 31, exploring the beautiful city of Artesia, and take it from Rex and Roni and myself. We've all been to Artesia. It is a beautiful city, and they have a wonderful person representing them as their mayor. So we do want to thank our friend and our guest today, Mayor Melissa Ramoso. Thank you so much. This is, as I said before, it's the 4th week of our celebration of Women's History Month. We hope you enjoyed last week's episode. I'm still riding high from our St. Patrick's celebration with Mia and Dr. Stacy. That's why I'm wearing my green a little late. And next week, we're closing up with one final episode. We hope you enjoy next week's episode with Chris Padua. It's going to be fantastic. If you've enjoyed these episodes, please watch all 5 of them. Watch them over and over again. Help us on YouTube, please. And really, though, we've had some great guests, and we're so grateful. So thank you so much. So I'm going to go ahead and put a bow on this. We did get a phone call during 13 Things. It looks like Veronica just wants to send her support for the mayor. So Veronica.
I can read the text message she sent
Can you read the
me.
text? Thank
Yeah,
you.
she
Please,
said,
please.
you might have to get the bleep button ready, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
This right here is a bad bee making waves in Artesia. Hope she tell all the men to look her in the eye when she shake their hands. We coming for you. And then just a bunch of emojis. In my sister Veronica's way, that just means she's thankful for what you do.
Oh, tell her thank you.
Absolutely. And you
So
know,
many gun
Melissa,
emojis.
Veronica doesn't like a lot of people. So that's a good thing. So anyway, thank you so much. So I'm going to put a bow on this. On behalf of our friend, Melissa Ramoso, please support her and please go visit the city of Artesia. On behalf of the future mayor of Artesia, my good friend, Roni. And on behalf of perhaps another future mayor, Rex Sampaga, we're going to put a bow on this. Thank you so much for watching Rise and Shine with us. We'll see you next week. And we're back because I messed up and Melissa did not tell us where you can follow her on social media. Mayor Melissa Ramoso, where can we learn more about you?
Definitely. You can go to my website, which is melissaramoso.com, or my Facebook, which is at Melissa Ramoso. I do have a mayoral page as well. I have an Instagram, my personal. Everyone can be my friend there too. And also my mayoral and my Twitter. They're all Melissa Ramoso. So look me up, add me, and let's have a dialogue and come to Artesia and eat some food.
Especially
Awesome.
to your constituents there in Artesia. You can
Yes.
get directly in contact with her.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Well, we definitely want to thank you for your time. And I'm sorry that I forgot to put that blurb in. And Jeremiah will make us look great anyway. So one more time, on behalf of Melissa and Veronica and Roni and Rex, thanks for watching Rise and Shine. We'll see you next week.